So guys, I wanted to do something a little bit different today. I decided I'm going to take you on a little walk around the factory. And during our shipping videos over the last few years, we've been talking about the redevelopment of the factory. And the building that you see behind me was built by my father, I think about 30 years ago now. And it was his engineering works where we used to build children's outdoor play products. But over the years we transitioned. I started the guitar business. That other business unfortunately went down during the recession back in around 2007, 2008, and we've been building it back up ever since with the guitars. So this building really wasn't being used. Actually, I'll show you right round behind me here. So this smaller building that's on our entrance, this is where we did all the guitar work, office work, everything, up until just about 2 years ago when we started to move up into this building. So what we've done, we've entirely modified it, we've renovated it, we've increased it a second story on both sides, added all these big windows. It's just like, really, it's a brand new building. The only thing that remains from back in the day is really the cement block walls. It's been rewired, all new lighting. And honestly, it's been a labour of love. It's been one of those things that we dreamed about for so many years, and seeing it come together and come to life has been just such a thrill. So literally we finished this entrance hall the day before our music tour back in May, and then we had the grand opening when we had all our May tour guests here on that Monday morning. And it's very exciting because on Sunday we have our second tour arriving. So we've got another group coming in. So if you're watching this and you're coming on the Emerald Tour, this is a little bit of a preview of what you're going to see next Monday. So we're really excited about that. So we've got this beautiful entrance hall. You're going to come in here, and what we've got on the wall is it's quite kind of interesting because we build acoustic guitars, but everything on the wall in here is electric. So this is some of the custom guitars that I've built personally over the years. The Ultra guitar, which was the very first guitar that I ever let out of my possession. So in many ways it's guitar number one, or in some ways I say it as guitar zero. Then we built for Steve Vai. We come down here, we've got Bahamut. It's very likely the most famous guitar on the planet because it's a household name in Asia. Anybody who knows the music of Lee Hom will know Bahamut. It's been such a thrill to have built this guitar back in 2008, and that wonderful dragon. So go over here, you're going to get greeted by the Ultra guitar. This is a replica. This was hanging in the background of my office for about 12 years. We finally finished it a couple of months ago. So we give it pride of place in the entrance hall. And you're going to be greeted by Jackie. So Jackie is sort of head of our hospitality here. So if you're booking a tour of the factory, Jackie's the person going to be taking you around. So friendly face. Draco, beautiful guitar that I made for somebody in Thailand. It's a dragon bass guitar. You kind of see I like these sort of mythical creatures. And I just passed the gallery entrance, and we'll take you in there actually towards the end of the tour. So we'll come back to that. Daedalus, another guitar that was very significant to me. Built this for Aaron back in 2015. It's a steampunk guitar, and it's actually in the building right now. We're going to do a little bit of work on it and get it back to Aaron very soon. Sorry Aaron's taken so long, but very, very cool guitar. Now, 2 violins. So I've actually built 3 violins in my time, all 3 of them 6 strings. I think maybe because I'm a guitar maker, I'm used to 6 strings, not 4. So yeah, we built the Phoenix, was the first in 2016. Gold plated, 6-string electric violin, and very, very cool. It's got gemstones in the eyes, and very, very cool piece. Then we went on and did Sulok, which was the dragon violin, and the Phoenix and the dragon sit very nicely hand in hand. Yeah, that was a nice one. So that's the entrance hall. You're going to come on in through here, and if you're coming here on a factory tour, Jackie's going to take you on a tour through there and bring you right out here. And where we're going to start off is I'm going to take you up into the Veneer area, and that's where we start everything. So we're up here in the carbon cutting room, and this is where we cut all the carbon. It's also where we do the veneer work, and this is where we do a lot of inlay work. Now you see there's nobody up here at the moment. Darren is usually in here. He's head of the veneer cutting, and he's off on leave this week. So it's a little bit quiet. And also it's used by different people at different times of the day. So Gareth, who's currently downstairs putting carbon into molds, he would be up here in the mornings cutting out the carbon, cutting all the different pieces. So this area is where we do all the carbon cutting, but it's not used all the time, but we need the space. Same here, this is where we do inlay. So it depends on what's being done at different times of the day. So there's nobody currently doing inlay work. We have the CNC machine where we cut out the cavities and then work on these benches. So it's you'll see a lot of space as we go through this. And the reason for all that space is when we designed and built this factory, we conceived it to build somewhere in the region of about 25 guitars a day, potentially. Now it'll be busting at the seams at 25, but currently we're building between 5 and 6 a day. So we designed it with a lot of room to play with, and with all the equipment in place. So we just really need to ramp up extra staff and training. So that maybe gives you a little clue of our expectation and our plan for growth. So this is the veneer area. This is the thing I kind of like here. So we have these racks with all the different veneers. I don't know, 30 or 40 different veneers right now, and everything in here has been brought in big long lengths. We cut it down, choose exactly the right piece, and then we photograph it and label it. And I'm going to show you in a second. We're just going to take one piece at random, and I'll show you how this then exists on the website. So we've got Cocobolo, this is Royal Ebony, beautiful candy stripe Padauk, Palfero, Koa. So a lot of really nice stuff, and I love this part because it's where we get to find some really exotic woods, more in here. And so if we have a look at this, this is a piece of Royal Ebony, and this has been chosen for its pattern and for its selection. It's REB 124, and we'll find that in a second on the website. But that piece is on a website, and you can then find and decide the position of where you want to see that, so where you want the pattern to be. So everything is photographed, as I say. It's photographed over here in this booth. We have our laser machine. This is actually where we cut out the veneer. So we cut it in a very exact template in the laser cutter, which is a fantastic machine. I used to do it all by hand back in the day with a scalpel. So let me see, Royal Ebony. So if we load up the Royal Ebony veneers, and what was it, 124? So as you see, we've got Royal Ebony 124 here, and that's the exact same piece as we were showing you there a second ago. And then if you're on our 3D builder, you get the ability then to just do exactly like I was doing with the template, move it around, find the exact way that you want it. And then you also have the ability to rotate it. So that's like turning the whole thing upside down. And you can see it looks like an entirely different piece of veneer, but it's just looking at it the other way around. And that's actually a really cool piece. You see it on a guitar, and it looks quite different when you see it on a guitar. And we've modified the colors a little bit to give you the same perspective as if there was a clear coat over the top. So so you'll see it whenever it's in its natural form. It's quite dry and light colored looking. So then we have to do our best then to try and get the perspective of what it's going to look like finished. But yeah, so that's that piece, and so you can see the two eyes right there. It's the same as two eyes here, so you can see the connection between the two. So there's obviously going to be a little bit of movement in it, a little bit of change in the coloration. So it is always, remember, it's just an artistic expression of it. So you'll see the same patterns, but the coloring can change slightly, but we try and get it very, very close. But also it depends on your screen. So that's what happens up here. Not much happening here just right now, but a very integral part and the first step of every Emerald guitar. So we're down here now. This is the moulding room, and this is the area where really the guitar is born. We take all the materials that we've cut upstairs, we bring them down here, we put them into the molds. The molds that we have here, they would have been the first layer of, it's a polyester that we put into the mold first as a protective layer. And then we lay up all the layers of carbon fiber behind that. So during the course of the day, they're laying in all the carbon fiber, all the different pieces, very meticulously and carefully adding them into the mold. So it's almost like a tailoring process, fitting it into the mold, but very integral in how they lay that in. And you know, you'll see Gareth here just working on a very detailed way, just getting all the carbon laid in there. And yeah, we have a specific recipe of how we put the carbon in. It's different for every guitar, and the different layers in the different places and different areas, that's what gives us the structure that we need, and all the tonal properties that we're trying to achieve. So in the morning, actually I'll show you in the background, you'll see over beside Patrick, that's a row of guitars that were made yesterday. So they come out of the molds this morning, and then they're going into this oven here. So they're cured in here at a higher temperature. That elevates the temperature, brings more structural integrity to the carbon, gives it more temperature resistant. If we didn't do this and we sent it out into the world and it got a lot of high temperature, all of a sudden it could deform. So that's a very important part of the process. We've got a foam box there. It was my 40th birthday present from my wife. I'm about to turn 50 and I still haven't managed to get it finished. It was a project I was supposed to do and never quite got there. So we're in here in the prep area, and this is the noisy, dusty area where they do all the sanding and shaping. And you'll see in here, this is sort of the first starting point. Currently he's sanding off the flash line, so it's like the edge area here when where the two edges of the molds meet. So that's done first. Then they go in here into this machine where we profile the face of the fretboard just to make that perfect, and it's a machine we built ourselves. Then we go in here, and this is the fretting area. So same guy, he's doing both the processes. We have Dale over in the corner. He's currently sanding and shaping. He does a lot of our prep work and filling, and you know, getting all the detail on the surface just perfect before paint. And there's a lot of work goes into that, really to rectify the surface after molding to make sure it's just right for painting. We've got Kev over there. He's currently preparing the cores that go inside the neck of a guitar. So another very important part of the job. So everybody here has their own individual booths with individual extraction, dust extraction on the sanders, and an extraction for the environment. So it's hard to keep a dusty area like this perfectly clean, but I think we do a pretty good job. So we'll take a walk now into the polishing and spray area. So this is a cool area here. This is really a very integral area actually of the whole process of making a guitar, because you can make something that sounds good, but you also wanted to make something that looks beautiful. And we spend a lot of hours here just rectifying and making the surface as perfect as it can be, and also bringing out the real beauty of the carbon fiber and the wood veneers that we use. So we've got two different paint spray booths. The one on the left is where we do all the priming work. So the guitars come in there, they get about 3 layers of clear polyester primer, and that just seals all the surface, makes everything perfectly level, and we go back out for secondary sanding before then it comes back in for final paint. We've got our second spray booth up in here. If we take a walk over, we'll see if, yeah, we've got Carl up in there. He's doing some fine detailed work. So what he's doing right now is spraying the fade onto the back of the guitar there. So you can see a lot of detail going into that. And then these guys here are here polishing. So they'll spend 2-3 hours in every guitar just sanding the surface, getting it perfect. And then it goes in. There's nobody in this booth at the moment, but we'll take a look in here. So that's the booth where they do then the polishing. So they use those pedestal polishers and take all the sanding scores out and bring it up really to that mirror shine. So it's nice. You see a guitar coming through this area, and it goes from looking really grey out in the prep area to really having that beautiful shiny finish when it's done here. So that's a few guitars ready to move on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through prep area or the shipping area, and we'll go straight up into the final setup area. Okay, so we're up here now in the final assembly area, and this is where the guitar really comes to life. And I think this is a cool area because this is really where the first note of every guitar gets played. And I always think it's a kind of a magic thought. You know, you think you're playing that first note on a guitar that is literally going to exist for, I don't know, hundreds of years potentially. I know there's violins that have been playing for hundreds of years. So there's no reason why a carbon fiber guitar isn't going to be still in existence in 300 years time. That's an incredible thought. And just to think about all the notes are going to get played along the way, all the people are going to get inspired by the music that potentially is going to come out of that individual guitar. So to hear its first note, I think is a really magical experience. So behind me we have all the different components that go into assembling a guitar, all those little bits that are integral to putting them together. And we have Stephen behind us in here. Stephen is he's the guy who assembles all your electronics. So we get all our electronic components in from various different partners, K&K, Graphtech, LR Bags, Fishman. You know, we work with these various different people to get different components in, and then we assemble them in specific ways into harnesses to do what we're looking for from them. So a very important part of it. We don't just assemble them, we also test them at that stage as well. And it's a tricky part. Anybody that's been playing guitar for a long number of years knows that probably the most fragile part of a guitar is its electronics. So we put a lot of effort into trying to make every one perfect. But it's in reality, and I'll be totally honest and transparent, that's probably the area where we still have the most potential issues because there's a lot going on, and we don't do simple electronics. So that's an integral part of our business. Then we have a bunch of guitars that are in various stages of finishing, strings on, some with just hardware on. So they're going through the assembly process. We have Shane over here. He's just tuning up, playing the first notes on this guitar, and then Jerry is working back and forward between the pleck area, and he'll be working on one of these benches here as well. So we'll take a walk in and see what Jerry's doing. So Jerry is currently working on a pleck process. So come on in here. So pleck process is one of the things that we adopted. I think it's 2, maybe 3 years now actually, and it was really in the search for perfection. It's, you know, a really good skilled luthier can do a great setup on a guitar, but this machine, it sees so many more details. It's looking at so many more parameters than any human can really look at. So Jerry's just been doing a scan here. What he's doing is looking at all the parameters of the frets, where there's any high or low spots, and working out, this is like an exaggerated view of the curvature of the neck and the profile of the frets. So we have a specific way that we want to get them. There's software there that tells us the optimal position for the frets in relationship to the strings, depending on string tension, string gauge, tuning, the action height that you're looking for. We're also looking at the curvature of the fretboard, the radius, the relief. You know, there's so many different elements that are in play to make a guitar play just right for all those different things that you're looking for. So there's no two people plays the exactly same way. So what we do is we decide what is the average right system for what we're looking for our guitars. So but it's great. It leaves us having great consistency, and really has been a game changer. So really trick piece of equipment. Scans the frets, cuts the top of the frets, radiuses them, also helps us cut the nut and the saddle. So a lot going on that machine. Over in here we have Patrick is currently working on inlays. So so he's got this CNC machine just cutting out some inlays. I'm not sure what it's got actually specifically cutting, but something cool and detailed. And we use like super small, like 0.6 of a millimeter cutting bits that are cutting out really exact detail in there that then gets filled afterwards with the inlays. So so that's it up in this area. And really the plec is the last step of every guitar. After it's set up out in the setup area, it comes in here and it's plecked and left ready then for final quality control, which we'll show you downstairs. So I made a quick stop off in the media room, and this is where we do all the photography and filming. So you'll see over on this wall we have a couple of different backdrops that we can set up for doing different pieces of content, for filming like tech videos and that kind of stuff. And then all the guitars come in after they've finished with Jerry upstairs. They come in here, and Andreas, who's currently holding the camera, he'd be doing the photography here. So every guitar goes on here. We have our lighting, we have a green screen. The guitar is photographed. It then goes directly straight up onto the screen here, and then from that it's transferred directly to the person then that does all the editing, and the photographs are edited, loaded up onto the website, and yeah, very important part of it, because you know most of the people that we sell guitars to don't get to come here to the factory. Our photography is really integral to giving you an experience of what it's all about. So so yeah, every guitar that we build gets photographed. Either if it's a custom build guitar, we do 1 or 2 pictures on it, and that goes up into the archive gallery, so every guitar can be found there. Or if it's a stock guitar, then we do all the photographs that go into the website. So so that's where that all happens. So we're downstairs here now. This is where we do all the packaging. You can see all the stock here, and Stephen, well, you can see Stephen's currently playing a tune. So he's a guy that checks your guitars, and you'll often find him just here playing and writing his own music as well as working. Is that right, Stephen? That's true, yeah. So it's an inspiring place to be. So it's really important that the last person that touches your guitar is a guitar player. Well, actually, you'd probably technically call yourself a bass player.
I'm a bass player.
But he's a guitar player too. He's a musician.
I'm a musician.
And well, basses are guitars, you know. So so yeah, so Stephen takes the guitars, does a full quality check on them, checks through all the different parameters, make sure everything matches the build notes on your order. And you'll may have seen this in the screen. So we have our Platinum Plus software that we run, and this gives us all the details of every process on every guitar that we build. So so we're looking at that, making sure we've built the guitar the way it was supposed to be built, to the right specs, checking the action height, checking the finish quality, and all those details before it goes into a box. So the other thing that happens here, which is very integral, is the shipping video. So this is where guitars sometimes get stored, and but a lot of the time it's used specifically for our shipping videos. So we're just loading guitars up here for the next shipping video that we're going to be doing live with our tour guests on Monday. So and that's going to go out next Friday. So so that's going to be a cool one. So we're going to have a live audience again. I'm looking forward to doing that. It was a lot of fun when we did it in May. But every week we do a shipping video. If you're watching this, there's a good chance that you've seen the shipping videos. Pretty high chance, I'd say. And it's become a real part of the Emerald Guitar story. You know, it's this idea, this concept of bringing together all the work we've done from the week before, putting it in one place, and admiring it, really, you know, collectively with you guys that watch our videos and us as a team. You know, you get to see a set of guitars. Every week it looks different. Every week it's a beautiful variety of instruments that reflect the diversity of our work here. You know, we're not just building rows of black carbon fiber guitars. We're, you know, like this beautiful teal and the wood veneers, and there's so much variety in what we do, and we love that. And the shipping videos have been a great way to really focus on that, and then to acknowledge you guys. You know, to give you a shout out and thank you really for choosing and buying an Emerald guitar. So, so this is always a really highlight part of the tour for people, because I've watched the shipping videos. Everybody likes to come here and get their picture, maybe taken in front of the logo. So, so if you come and do an Emerald factory tour, you can come and do that. And now I'm going to take you to the offices. That's pretty much it for the manufacturing area, but we'll go to the offices. So we're going to take a walk into the office area now, and the first person you're going to see on the right is Yanis. He's our R&D manager, and he's in there. He's, you know, creating CNC programs and designing new concepts and ideas, and I work very closely with Yanis on a lot of the stuff. This is the heart of it, the heart of our offices, and in here we have Dan. You'll remember Dan if you're, say, one of our Emerald ambassadors. Dan handles all the ambassador work, a lot of our community stuff online. Richard is our graphic designer. He puts together a lot of the cool graphics that you'll see in our ads and all our content on the website and stuff. Andreas, who's behind the camera, normally hides in that corner. Jackie shares this desk here, and then we have our sales guys. So Kev and Keelan. So Keelan is the most recent recruit. This is his first week, and he has, as I mentioned, I think in last week or maybe week before shipping video, Davey has gone back to full-time music, and Keelan has stepped in. Also a guitar player, and very knowledgeable, really enthusiastic, and it's great to have him part of the team. So you're gonna see more from Keelan. We'll get him involved in some of our videos and content. And hiding in behind the computer in there is Rachel. We'll see if she gives us a nod and a wave. So Rachel is she's head of our finance, and looks after all that. So that's our offices. This is where, you know, a lot of that the sales and marketing work happens, and then it comes back through here again towards our entrance hall. But I want to take you a walk in here. So this is, I was really happy to get this completed. You know, people will be asking about merch, and you know, we'd be going through a box and trying to find a t-shirt, or we were trying to find a hat or whatever. So we built a merch store, and so we built this beautiful little merch shop, and this is very much in keeping with the ethos of what Emerald Guitars is all about. We didn't want to, and I don't disparage any country, but I didn't want to go and get you know, made in China merch. So what we've done is we've tried to be as authentic as we can and have locally handmade things. So we have the Hannah hats that we've recently got with the Emerald logo. Now you'll have seen me wearing a Hannah hat if you watch my content. Mine doesn't have a logo. I'm gonna have to get mine on. But we've got the Hannah hats that are made here in Donegal, a family business that's been making hats for I think 2 or 3 generations. We've got McNutt tweed. These are made in Donegal as well, in an area called Downings, and they've been making tweed in Donegal for a long number of generations, and it's just great to have our logo on their scarves. It was a really nice thing to have in here. We've got, of course, the Emerald mugs. Now, the Emerald mugs is sort of like this, you know, best kept secret, so or worst kept secret, I should say. So if you go onto the Emerald website, you're not going to find anything about the Emerald mugs. But anybody that knows anything about Emerald World knows that if you buy an Emerald guitar, you get an Emerald mug. And a lot of people have built up a collection of Emerald guitars and Emerald mugs. So, so it's a really cool thing that we have done. And we always said we'd never sell them. They're only something we ever gave away. But we decided if you come and visit the factory, you do have the ability to buy an Emerald mug. 30 euros each, you can buy them, only buy them here, and we're not going to sell them online. So, so that's sort of our commitment to making them a little bit special. They're made by Lowry. Everyone is handmade by Lowry at Maville Pottery. So everyone is a little bit different. Everyone's handmade, and made in Maville pottery here in Donegal. So again, matches with that handmade idea. Now we've got the Emerald book. So beautifully written by Stacey Blevins. This was previously only available online, but we've managed to get these printed in a much more cost-effective way. Stacey was very gracious to allow us to be able to print these over here, and now we're making them available. You can buy them in the merch store, and we might be able to actually put them online as well, to be able to ship one along with your guitar purchase when you're ordering a guitar. But great to be able to have that. I'm very proud of that. It captures a lot of our stories, and I think maybe the title of that says everything that we need to say about Emerald guitars: building stories one guitar at a time. And I'm very passionate about that. We don't build guitars, we build stories. Guitars are very intimate things, and yes, the stories behind them that's really important to us. So beautiful little area. So if you want some Emerald merch and you come here, you can buy an Emerald strap, you can get the t-shirts, the hoodies, and so yeah, pretty cool. Now I'm going to take you in here. So I'll be honest to you, the first day I walked into this, on the day that we were doing the factory open, I actually cried. And the reason was that I have dreams of this space for 10, 12 years. And the space was here in the factory. It was unused, it was just a storage space, but I knew what it could be. And I wanted it to be really just about the guitars, but at the same time, it's a space that's got a really great feeling to it. So, you'll see the window. This is a stained glass window that I actually bought about 10 years ago for the purpose of putting it in here. We bought two of them. We used one of them in the cottage previously, and then finally the other one got to fulfill its destiny and come in here. It's just a really nice centerpiece. So it's, you know, it's dramatic, but it also at the same time it's quite subtle in the space, I think. You know, and we have that backlit, so it's not open to the outside. Allows us to control the lighting and do cool things with it. But the guitars on the walls, we looked a lot at the lighting, and I wanted the guitars to be lit up and not the whole space. So we're able to find lighting that's got little shutters on it that allows it to be controlled, and it only lights up the frame of the guitar. So it gives you this really dramatic effect. It just beautifully lights the guitar. You know, you see how beautiful the carbon fiber is lit up here, and so I love this space. It's a great presentation. So this is a public space. This is, anybody can come here and visit the Emerald Guitars Gallery. You don't even have to book in advance to come and see the gallery. This is a public space that you can walk in, come and see for free and view these guitars. Now this is an area to view guitars. So the guitars that are on the wall here, we don't like people to play them. That happens upstairs. So this is look only, and try not touch because they're beautifully polished and you leave fingerprints on them. So Jackie will go crazy. So then the other cool thing that we have here is our player suite. So we'll take a walk up here. So up in the player suite, really this is the area, if you're on a journey to buying an Emerald guitar, this is the place for you. If you can at all possibly come here, you're going to have a great experience. And on the walls we have at least one of every guitar, and you know, with the Virtuos, we always have a full rack of Virtuos there in stock, a few X20s, a few X30s. And really the idea of this space is to showcase all the guitars and all the colors and all the finishes, and these are the guitars that you get to play. So you can book online, you can book a 1 hour experience, and this is not a shared experience. It's not like walking into a guitar store where there might be somebody else playing Smoke in the Water in the corner. You get to come and play Smoke in the Water by yourself. So I think it's a nicer experience. You know, you get to have this place, you get to try the guitars, plug them into different amps, and the sales guys will be on hand to give you any information that you want. We have a computer here where you can access the 3D builder, And this is a really nice addition as well, because we've got all the carbon colors, and you can have, decide what color you might want. So you'll be able to see it on the 3D builder, but then you might want to have a look and see about how the color combinations go together. You think, right, I want that on the top, and maybe I want this inlay, and start to see how they go together. And then you can look at the different colors and inlays that we have here, all the different finishes and different types of inlays and hardware. So just a nice way to kind of build up the guitar and see them all in reality, and see all the different things that we can do for you. So this is the player suite. That's sort of the end of it. But hopefully you've enjoyed the factory tour. I am so proud of this whole place. It's been a labor of love for me and for Kim, and definitely wasn't easy to get here. Took a lot of money in the end, but it took a lot of effort and dreaming to get to the stage where we could even start to do the transformation. But really, it's thanks to the Emerald community, and I always talk about the Emerald family because we have such a great connection with our customers. You don't just buy a guitar from us and run off into the distance. We like to, get you involved in the Emerald Guitars community through the Emerald Guitars Community Hub, the Ambassador Program, maybe coming on some of the tours. We had such an amazing time, 45 guests on the May tour that were Emerald enthusiasts and customers, and some prospective customers that became customers after. And then we have another group coming in now next week. So if you're wanting to find out a little bit more, if you happen to be close, if you're in the area, if you're in Ireland, or if you're traveling to Ireland, then come and visit us here, and check out online. You'll be able to find the booking page on there to book your space, or drop a sales guys a message, or drop Jackie a message, and you can arrange that. So that's really cool. So a little bit different this week, no shipping video. We're recording that on Monday, as I say, to go out next week. So look forward to that. Definitely tune back in that. And if you've been enjoying our content, I must remind you, you've got to like and subscribe and stay connected in our community. So thanks for watching. Have a great week, and I'm going to leave you with a little bit of music by Dan.